In the heart of Silicon Valley, a group of elite hackers gathered at an underground cyber conference. Among them was Myra, a quiet but renowned codebreaker known as the Ghost. Myra's skills were legendary. She could crack any code, bypass any firewall, and retrieve any data. However, she had one rule: she only hacked for justice, never for profit. One evening, Myra received an anonymous message with a challenge that piqued her interest. The message was a cryptic invitation to something called the Labyrinth. It claimed to be a hacking challenge like no other, promising access to hidden knowledge. Myra was intrigued but cautious, knowing it could be a trap. The Labyrinth was rumored to be a high-security data fortress. Only the world's most skilled hackers had ever attempted to breach it, and none had succeeded. After hours of debating, curiosity got the best of Myra, and she decided to accept. She initiated her VPNs, activated her encryption layers, and got to work. The first firewall she encountered was deceptively simple. Myra sensed it was merely a test, and she dismantled it with ease. Behind it lay the true complexity of the Labyrinth, a maze of shifting code. Each level seemed to have its own unique encryption, constantly evolving. She realized this was no ordinary system. It was self-learning and adaptive. Myra's heart raced with excitement and apprehension. This was a challenge worthy of her skills. As she worked her way deeper, Myra noticed patterns in the encryption. They were clues, breadcrumbs left behind by previous hackers. Some were warnings, urging her to turn back before it was too late. Others were hints, guiding her through the maze of code. Hours turned into days, and Myra lost track of time. She barely slept, surviving on coffee and adrenaline. She encountered traps designed to trace her location and shut her system down. With each near miss, she felt her heart skip a beat, but she pressed on. Her persistence led her to the fourth level, where the encryption was nearly impenetrable. Myra found herself face to face with the firewall known as the Black Door. Legend had it that the Black Door had never been breached. It was rumored that beyond it lay secrets capable of reshaping the digital world. Myra took a deep breath and began her work, analyzing its complex layers. She had never seen such intricate code. It was as if it had a mind of its own. Hours went by, and Myra struggled to make progress. Just when she felt like giving up, she had a breakthrough. She found a weak point, a small vulnerability that others had overlooked. Carefully, she exploited the flaw, slowly breaking down the Black Door's defenses. The door yielded, and Myra was in. She couldn't believe it. She had done what no hacker before her could. On the other side, she found herself in a virtual world unlike anything she'd seen. It was a digital library, filled with files from governments, corporations, and unknown sources. But these weren't ordinary files. They were secrets, blueprints, and confidential information. As she browsed, Myra found documents that revealed shocking truths about world events. She saw files that detailed mass surveillance programs targeting innocent civilians. There were records of cover-ups, corruption, and hidden agendas. Myra was horrified by the scope of the information she had uncovered. She realized that if she released this data, it could change the world. But it could also endanger her life and the lives of countless others. Torn between her principles and the potential consequences, Myra hesitated. She knew that once she shared these secrets, there was no going back. As she considered her options, another message appeared on her screen. It was from the anonymous sender, who called themselves the Architect. The Architect congratulated her on making it this far. They explained that the Labyrinth was created to test the ethical integrity of hackers. "Will you use this knowledge for justice or for chaos?" the message asked. Myra realized this was the true test of the Labyrinth. She replied, only for justice, and received a final set of instructions. The architect revealed that there was a hidden failsafe in the system. If she wanted to release any information, she would have to find the master key. The master key was located at the end of the labyrinth, in the final level. With renewed determination, Myra delved deeper into the digital maze. The final level was the hardest yet, full of false paths and traps. Her mind raced as she pieced together the clues left by previous challenges. She knew she couldn't make a single mistake, or she'd lose everything. Myra reached a locked vault, guarded by an AI security system. The AI engaged her in a battle of wits, posing riddles and logic puzzles. Myra answered each one with precision, determined to prove herself worthy. Finally, she unlocked the vault and found the master key. Her hand trembled as she held it, realizing the power she now possessed. With the master key, Myra gained control over the entire library of secrets. She could expose every hidden truth with a single click. But the architect's question lingered in her mind: justice or chaos? Myra chose justice, deciding to release only the information that served the greater good. She carefully selected files that would expose corruption without endangering innocent lives. With each file she shared, Myra felt a sense of fulfillment and purpose. She knew her actions would spark change, forcing people to confront the truth. But she also understood that she'd made powerful enemies. Shortly after her files went public, Myra received a warning from the architect. "They know who you are," the message read, "and they're coming for you." Myra knew her life would never be the same, but she had no regrets. She had done what she believed was right, even at great personal risk. She packed her belongings, preparing to disappear from the grid. As she left her apartment, she saw news reports about the files she'd leaked. Protests erupted worldwide, demanding justice and accountability. Myra felt a mix of pride and apprehension as she watched the world react. She had become a ghost once more, a silent force for truth in the shadows. Weeks went by and Myra lived a life on the run, constantly moving. She knew the authorities were searching for her, but she remained one step ahead. Every now and then, she'd hack into news feeds to see the impact of her actions. She saw governments enacting reforms and corporations facing scrutiny. Her work had changed the world, even if no one knew her name. Myra became a legend among hackers, a hero to some and a threat to others. Despite the risks, she felt a sense of peace knowing she had made a difference. In a hidden corner of the internet, hackers shared stories of the Labyrinth. Myra's name was spoken with awe and respect, an inspiration to those seeking justice. She became known as the one who cracked the unbreakable code. The architect reached out to her one last time with a simple message: "Thank you." Myra smiled, feeling a sense of closure and accomplishment. She logged off, ready to start a new life in the shadows. The world would never know her face, but her legacy would endure. For Myra, the journey had just begun. Her goal was justice, and she would keep hacking for it.